Welcome, everyone, to episode 402 of the Thumbstick Athletes podcast. I'm your host, Dan.
I'm Will.
Today's topic is going to be a retro review for Super Mario Sunshine. If you caught my wife and I's rookie camp from Sunday night, the one with the quiet speaking volume, no, sorry about that. We did Super Mario Sunshine, and I think Will even was it you that suggested we do a retro review for it this
Yeah.
week?
Well, yeah, I saw a little bit of your rookie camp. I didn't see all of it at the time, and I was thinking to myself, we're doing a retro game review because, like always, we came up with the episode idea at the last second.
Yeah, it was Monday
Uh,
night when we were
we're having,
recording Pond Hockey.
yeah, we're having a hard time coming up with an episode. And Super Mario Sunshine, I kind of want the game to be remade really badly. I think out of all of Nintendo's older games, I think Mario Sunshine can get the most out of a remake. So I was like, let's do a retro game review on it.
Yeah, it's good timing for it too. There's always a good time for Nintendo stuff, really.
Oh yeah.
It does very well evergreen wise. So, and like I said, my wife and I had just done the rookie camp, which I will start playing for those in the chat on our live stream at Thumbstick Athletes or twitch.tv/Thumbstick Athletes. Yes. So that's gonna be our main topic, a retro review. I'm also gonna gloss over some reviews from when the game came out because I had misremembered some things about it. So we'll talk about that. Do you have anything you want to tease for later on in the episode, Will?
Oh man, I've been playing a disgusting amount of Assassin's Creed Origins recently. I think I played until 4 o'clock last night.
Nice.
I'm very close to beating it, so I'll talk a little bit about that. Other than that, I don't, that's the only thing I've really been putting all my time into. Like Assassin's Creed Odyssey, once I started it, I just got sucked in and haven't felt like playing anything else. So
Nice.
that's what I've been doing.
I played a lot more Sekiro. Shadows Die Twice, so I will be talking a little bit about that. And then I also picked up Captain Toad Treasure Tracker after having not played that for quite a while. So
Do you have that on Switch?
I do.
Okay. I wasn't sure which console you had it for.
Yep, physical copy too,
Dang.
which is nice. So I will be talking about that. So first, let's get to Super Mario Sunshine. So my wife asked me how this game was received when we did this video.
Mhm.
And I seem to remember it not being received all that well, but I went back and read some of the reviews and checked out the Metacritic score, and it was glowing. Positively glowing. I don't know where I get the idea that it wasn't as well received as some of the Mario games, but
So let me put it into perspective.
okay.
This is the Mario version of Wind Waker.
I could see that.
Because I remember this too, Dan. People weren't as high on Sunshine and Wind Waker as
Yeah.
they were every other single Mario and Zelda game to ever come out. But now looking back on it, I feel like Sunshine and Wind Waker are some of the more fondly remembered games.
I don't
The
know
more
if
time
just
has passed.
Yeah, I don't know if it's just because of the age we were in. This came out in 2002, which is the year I graduated from high school. So maybe I wasn't as much into Mario at that point. I know I didn't play that much of it. I played it for a little bit on my GameCube, but I didn't sink the time in it that I put into the other Mario games.
I
And
don't.
then Wind Waker is the same thing. Like I feel like maybe just I was at an age where that didn't appeal to me as much as it would like now.
Yeah, I don't think I even played it that much when it first came out either. I think I played it. I don't want to say on podcast, like when we were recording, although I might have. If somebody does know, they'll let us know. But I do seem to remember playing it when I was older and loving it.
Yeah.
So I don't know why I didn't like it as much when I was a kid,
Right.
but
Yeah, so I'll go over some of the reviews. I pulled up two. I pulled up IGN and GameSpot. Obviously, they're still huge now. The Mario Sunshine from GameSpot was reviewed by Jeff Gersman, actually,
really,
who we know well. This review was not that high on the game. They gave it an 80 or 8 out of 10. And one of the things he said was, on its own merit, Super Mario Sunshine is a solid game with a really distinctive look and some great moments, but it also has its fair share of shortcomings. So, I didn't read the entire review. I glossed over a lot of it. I'll read the last sentence too because that always sums up everything nicely. Again, this is from Jeff Gersman from GameSpot. I'm sorry, August 2002 when the game came out. So that was 16 and a half years ago. He writes, the Mario series has always been nothing short of incredible. If you've been playing video games for even a few years and have tried to come up with a list of the best games ever made, chances are you've placed at least 2 or 3 Mario games high on that list. But Super Mario Sunshine has trouble living up to that legacy. On its own merits, Super Mario Sunshine is a solid game with a really distinctive look and some great moments, but it also has its fair share of shortcomings. While the game isn't overly difficult, too many of the game's goals are the sort that make you think, well, at least I'll never have to do that again. Immediately after completing them. While some games will be able to look past or even embrace the fact that Super Mario Sunshine sticks extremely close to the Super Mario 64 formula, others will find that the game suffers from lack of innovation. The game's technical issues and often gimmicky design are still tougher to ignore, and they combine to make the game seem surprisingly unpolished and somewhat rushed at times. In the end, though, there's enough Super Mario Sunshine to warrant a purchase. Enough in Super Mario Sunshine to warrant a purchase, particularly when you consider that there aren't really any decent platforms to be found in GameCube, and that is really the only new Mario game out there. So that was Jeff Gersman, 2002, circa 2002.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that was probably the lowest reviewed of all the bigger review places. There was someone on, because like I said, I sorted through the Metacritic reviews, and someone gave it a 60.
Of course.
Yeah, so I didn't end up reading that one, but a lot of them were a lot of the sites and stuff, magazines are now defunct too. So that was, as I said, 16 and a half years ago. It's a long time in internet age.
Yeah. So it's good you picked ones that are relevant and people know.
Yeah, they're the biggest ones on there that are still like relevant and
going strong
today. So
so before you talk about the other review, I think Mario Sunshine is a lot different from the other Mario games.
Yeah, it is.
Tonally, setting. I put like Galaxy and Sunshine kind of in the different category.
Yeah.
Out of all the Mario games, I don't know how you feel about that.
Yeah, I mean, even as far as the 3D Mario games go, they're definitely their own thing. I mean, really, as once again, my wife and I talked about this when we were doing the rookie camp. In this one, you have like a water pack on your back, and that's a lot of the controlling of the game. You know, it's spraying the water out of the nozzle, and then it allows you to hover a little bit too, and that's definitely a different mechanic. Even Mario Galaxy, it's still mostly just the platforming stuff. Some of the controls are similar to Mario 64, some are not. The main thing we struggled with, and both of us struggled with this a little bit, was the controls are inverted.
Oh yeah.
Which was very frustrating and hard to maintain. Actually, both the left and right and up and down when you're aiming the flood device to shoot water were inverted. Now I could switch the left and right, so that was normal, but I couldn't switch the up and down, so it was inverted, and it was very hard to control. But we did use my wired GameCube controller. I should say too, we played it I don't know if you could hear on the video, but we played it. I have the actual physical copy of the game, so sitting on my shelf over there. But we played the emulated version of it, which I bumped up the resolution a little bit and made it look a little bit nicer than it does normally.
Yeah,
and we played on PC. So
yeah, no, the flood, I think it's called Flood, right?
Yep,
is the name
FLUDD.
Yeah, is changes how the game is played, in my opinion, because you control most of the distance platforming with it.
Yeah.
Being able to like bridge large gaps and clean up the island and stuff. Like, I feel like that fundamentally changes the gameplay. And I thought Galaxy also had gameplay changing things of it being in space and like how you bounce between planets to planets. Whereas as I look at like Mario Odyssey, Mario 64, Mario 3D World are kind of set in similar worlds that we've seen before, whereas like Delfino Plaza and obviously Outer Space are just so different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mario Odyssey is kind of split between those two because the whole Cappy mechanic.
Yeah.
The only thing that makes that like different is that you turn into different things and control different things.
That's
But
true.
that's only a very, very small part of the game. The flood in Mario Sunshine is the entire game.
Yeah.
It's there the entire game. So
hmm And the whole like island tropical vibe that they went for on Mario Sunshine, I think
yeah,
was really well executed as well. I think it was a really different like setting for a Mario game. Most of the Mario games take place like in the Mushroom Kingdom. You're going to the ice world, the snow level, the sand world. Like, you're kind of doing the same things, but when you play Mario Sunshine, it was just like it was all tropical, like Hawaiian islandy kind of feel to it,
yeah.
and it was a lot different. And the story is like eco-friendly. Mario
Yeah.
was like this one.
Well, one thing I had completely forgotten that happens at the beginning of the game is Mario actually gets arrested and thrown in jail.
Yep.
I had completely forgotten that whole part, and because he has like a clone of him, who I haven't quite figured out, but it's like a dark Mario is going around polluting Delfino Plaza. So Mario gets framed for it actually, and his community service is to go, and his punishment is to go out and clean up Delfino Plaza. So they let him out just to do that.
I was laughing when I watched that scene happen.
Yeah, I had completely forgot about all that. So
I did too, because I never really remembered why Mario was doing that in the first place, and then when you see it again for the first time, and God knows how long, you're like, oh yeah, he got arrested.
yeah, yeah,
But
that was good stuff.
no, and I think Mario Sunshine would benefit from a remaster.
Yeah,
I think more than any of the older the older Mario games. I think this game, if they up-resed everything, pretty much even like a remake of it, I think this game would look gorgeous.
yeah, and it looks. I don't know if you did any visual comparisons between the original version and excuse me, my up-resed PC version. It looks pretty good, just with higher resolution and a little like anti-aliasing,
Yeah.
and frame buffering and stuff. It looks good,
Yeah.
Even just that, and then some tightening up of the controls. I think it would be fine as like a port, And
hmm
one of the things I think when the Switch was coming out was that it was capable of running GameCube games. And the big thing was they were going to have GameCube games on the Virtual Console. Obviously, they've since destroyed the Virtual Console, but I'm hoping they can still get GameCube games in some capacity on the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen the end of Nintendo's Virtual Console plans. Like, I call it Virtual Console for lack of a better word.
Right. They'll have some way to play these old games because people buy them. Like I have on my Wii U, I have a bunch of old games that I play and my kids play. But I would buy them again on the Switch just because that's what I have. That's what I play. I would drop $20 on Mario 64 right now. I
Dan,
wouldn't even think about it.
do you know how much money I would spend right now if Nintendo uploaded all of their libraries for all of their past consoles
Yeah.
onto the Switch? I would honestly probably spend like $500.
Yeah. Just to have those and have them with you all the time. Like that's
Yeah.
great.
I would buy every old Mario, every old Zelda, every Pokemon game. Like, I would own all of those almost immediately of them being put up. I'm doing it right now with Final Fantasy. Do you know I've owned Final Fantasy VII on literally every single console I've ever owned?
Everything it's ever been on.
Yep, I still went and bought it again for the Switch. So, like, it's just, I don't know what it is, but it's just what Nintendo is sitting on a gold mine, honestly.
Yeah, they really are.
But yeah, Dan, I didn't see, to be honest, I didn't see the entire video, but what was Val thinking of Sunshine?
She doesn't necessarily like the 3D Mario platformers as much.
hmm
She definitely doesn't have the experience, which is why I chose, and this one specifically because of how different it is compared to the other ones.
Yeah.
She liked it, but some of the control things were frustrating, especially the she had a lot of trouble with the inverted flood control. But I think, as I said, with little tightening up of that. Plus, she's played a fair amount of Mario Odyssey, And obviously that game controls so unbelievably well that going back and playing something like this, it definitely does not control as well as that.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but yeah, I think she enjoyed it. She enjoyed the music.
Oh, the
And
music is so
it's
good.
very good, and the setting, like you said, is also very good. But yeah, some control issues hampered her enjoyment of the game. She's actually going to be on at some point tonight to talk about rookie camp games from February and March.
Okay.
So
Is
once she gets a
Sunshine gonna
chance.
be included in?
Yeah, that was the
Okay.
last March game
Oh yeah, that's right.
because it
Okay.
was we recorded it on the last day of March.
Okay.
So
Um, real quick,
yeah,
before you talk about like the other review and stuff, I want to say in Smash Brothers, one of my favorite stages to get is Delfino Plaza.
Delfino Plaza. Yeah, that's a
Just
cool one.
just because it looks so nice and like I just love the whole island vibe that they went with it.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. Okay, so the next one is from IGN. IGN gave it a 9.4. It
yeah.
was reviewed by Fran Mirabella III, whose name I feel like I've heard before.
Hmm.
But again, that could be early days of IGN, reading internet reviews and stuff. I'm not sure, but I know I've heard that name before.
Yeah.
So the verdict is this is the obviously the I didn't not the whole review, but just the end of the review. This is my favorite single player GameCube game to date. It's completely captivating from the start, and I can't rave enough about the tight controls. It just feels right. However, I'm quite disappointed by the vacation theme and Nintendo's stubbornness to pay attention to presentation. Story and character design, especially, is poorly executed. I think Nintendo finds making Peach into a total ditz and Mario into a fat goon amusing, but it feels pretty lame for those of us with intelligence. If Nintendo truly didn't care about the story, then it shouldn't have even bothered to offer up the poorly done compressed FMV sequences. At the end of the day, though, Super Mario Sunshine is about gameplay. Its depth easily passes by all the problems with presentation, sound, and visuals. If Super Mario 64 is one of your favorite games, then I'm confident Super Mario Sunshine will be added to that list. Gamers looking for a good adventure cannot go wrong. So that was
Yeah.
Fran Mirabella III giving it a 9.4 from IGN.
Yeah, I mean, I don't look too deeply into the story to any of these games, really.
Yeah, I don't
Um,
either.
I gotta look and see how long Mario Sunshine is. I don't really know. 8 hours, it looks like.
That's probably just for main story. I know it's got a lot of like completionist stuff you can do.
Oh, it's 17 hours. Okay. So 17 hours, main and extras is 23, completionist is 30 and a half. So that's a good amount of content.
Yeah, it definitely is. So it's whoops, crap. So Super Mario Sunshine has a 92 on Metacritic.
Okay.
User score of 8.6. So
Okay.
Game Critics is the review that gave it a 60. It says to say the camera in this game is atrocious is like saying being kicked in the teeth hurts. It gives the person an idea of how bad it is, but it doesn't even begin to describe the agony in detail.
Meh.
Yeah, Game Critics is not still around, so at least it
I
doesn't
do
look like-
I do remember the camera being kind of a pain.
Oh, Game
But
Critics is still around.
really?
Yeah. That review's not up anymore. It looks like it's a podcast now.
Okay.
Interesting.
I feel like the camera in all of those old school platformers are bad though, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Especially us now with how good again Mario Odyssey comes to mind. How good the camera is in that. I don't know that I ever had camera issues with that, but
Yeah.
it's definitely it was inverted until I switched the controls, which was even more frustrating than you'd think.
Yeah. Inverted, I can't even believe people would ever choose inverted.
Yeah, I remember people playing Halo with inverted controls.
Weirdos.
Yeah, I know. But sites like GamePro, perfect score. Total Video Games, perfect score. Games Radar gave it a 90. So, yeah, it did review very well. That's one I am gonna go back and play at some point. It's one I want to stream. I still want to do my Conquering Mario live streams. at some point I'll get to it. Who knows?
Hey, you're gonna go in order, right?
I'd like to, because I've never beat the first Mario.
So Sunshine will be like game
It's up there.
6.
I made a list of all the games. It's because it'd be after Mario 64.
So it's like Mario 1, 2, 3, World, 64,
Sunshine, then probably.
Sunshine. Yeah.
Although one of my nibble bits is that they're putting up the lost levels on the Switch games library for Nintendo.
I was just gonna say, then you got the lost levels, which, if you wanted to count that as another game, you could. If not,
that's the Japanese Mario 2.
Okay.
So I don't know if I would count that or not. And I from what I remember playing of it back in the day, it's extraordinarily difficult.
I do remember it being very difficult. Yeah, from everybody that I know who has played it.
Yeah. So again, Super Mario Sunshine. It's a great game. Again, access is a problem with these, and we'll talk about that every time we bring up something old in Nintendo. The difference here is it's a little easier to find. I think we got our Mario Sunshine disc we bought it recently. It was maybe last year at this time. We got it, I think, used from GameStop, and it was probably $30 or $35. So the first generation Nintendo Wii's also play GameCube discs. So if you can find one of those or have one of those laying around, which I'm sure a lot of people do, you can play it that way. Getting a used and in good working order GameCube is a little bit more difficult, but it's out there. I just would love if they could put all these on the eShop, and so we wouldn't have to worry about it,
Yeah, and you're right. Everyone's got a Wii laying around.
Yeah, a lot of people
guarantee it. So
that would be as long as it's the first gen Wii, you could play GameCube games on that, which I think is awesome.
Yeah.
So, any other thoughts on Super Mario Sunshine?
No, that's kind of my thoughts. I think it's an underrated Mario game. I think it's an awesome one.
Oh, real quick, one thing I did want to say too is, so the GameCube controller, I don't know if you remember, the actual GameCube controllers had 2 levels for the left and right trigger buttons. They had like halfway pushed down and then all the way pushed down. Was 2 different things. So in this game, if you lightly pushed whatever button to spray the flood, you could keep moving to do it, but if you pushed it down all the way, it would stop, so you could aim the flood. So I had to program that to 2 different buttons on my was it Hori my Hori GameCube controller.
That's a nice controller.
It is nice.
That's
what I use for Smash.
I did not know that they had that.
Yeah.
I guess I forgot completely about that.
Yeah. I don't know if because you have the newer GameCube controllers, right? I don't know if they have those.
Yeah, my controllers are newer. I'd have to try it, see if it would work.
Yeah, it's the left and right triggers, I think, do that.
Yeah.
So, okay. Let's move on to Nibblebits. Will, what do you got for Nibblebits?
Oh boy, I have a lot. Starting with, I don't remember where I saw this, but I did see it somewhere online today, because this was like the week of leaks.
Yeah.
But Twilight Princess and Wind Waker are apparently coming, supposedly, to the Nintendo Switch. There was no timetable on it or anything like that, but it did get leaked out there. Who knows if that's true, but I think they should be. I'm surprised they're not already.
Metroid Prime Trilogy also.
Oh,
sorry. Go ahead.
I really want to play Twilight Princess again. I've played Wind Waker a bunch and fairly recently. So before Breath of the Wild, Twilight Princess was my favorite Zelda game. Next, Best Buy decided to leak a lot for us this week. They started off a couple days ago by allegedly leaking what Joker is going to look like in the new Smash Brothers. Who knows if that's true, but they showed him off, and it looks passable to me. I'm not educated in the persona and graphic design, so I don't know that for sure, but it looks good. And on top of that, they listed that the Metroid Prime trilogy, A Link to the Past for the Switch, and Persona 5 are going to be all coming to the Switch at some point this year. Apparently, a person working for Best Buy got, I don't know, it's like the SKUs, which is like the service something number
Yeah.
that comes in for so you can look onto it on the computer, so on and so forth. But yeah, apparently they were all listed on there to be coming this year. So
Nice.
that's big news. I know a lot of people really want the Persona to
I
be
would,
coming. So
yeah, yeah. I would love to see because I've been. That's one of the games that I really feel like I missed out on not having a PlayStation. That's one I would. All of those, I would buy all of those immediately when they became available for purchase.
which this reminds me, I should run my the thing that I've been contemplating, Dan, that we talked about on Pond Hockey
Uh huh.
about the PlayStation 4, or if I should like go in or not
Yeah.
and end up getting one. I'll talk about that probably in our weeks, but Persona 5 is a game on the PlayStation that I really want to play.
Yeah.
So there's that, and then moving on, we got some interesting stuff. Final Fantasy VII Remake development shifts around again. Was one of the main headlines on the Destructoid. I don't think we're ever going to see this game.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it was a bad idea to begin with, and
Definitely.
it doesn't seem like it's going well.
Basically, the article by Chris Carter said anybody he writes about games asks how is the Final Fantasy VII remake, and nobody has any idea how it's coming along. The only thing they know is they've shifted development a little bit more again. So who knows? I think this game's never gonna come out. It's gonna flop. It's gonna be like The Lost Guardian, but I don't think we actually end up seeing it ever.
Huh.
That's
Yeah.
my bold prediction.
Yeah.
And like the idea of them wanting to release it in parts is a horrible idea, in my opinion. I think that's just dumb. I don't know why they would want to do that. I think this was a bad idea. And you
Yeah.
know, at the year that they did the Final Fantasy VII remake, they did the Shenmue 3. What was the other thing? Was it Lost Guardian?
I don't remember, but it was something else that still hasn't come out yet, right?
Yeah, it was like three or four things that everyone was losing their mind out of, and we haven't seen anything out of any of them.
Yeah, that was
Um,
like 4 years ago now, wasn't it, or 3 years ago?
so it was announced in 2015.
Okay, so yeah, we're going on 4 years, almost 4 years.
And we literally have not seen gameplay really
Yeah,
from. Have we seen anything from Shenmue 3?
I think that's supposed to come out later this year, but
We haven't
nobody,
seen
nobody really
gameplay,
knows. No.
right? So yeah, that at the time was a crazy E3 press conference, but not seeing too many fruits from that year. Last but not least, Borderlands 3 got announced this week, coming out September 13th. Bad news tied to it, though. It's an Epic exclusive for 6 months, so we will have to wait until April 2020 to play it on PC. If you don't want to go get it on the Epic Store, um, I'm very sick of the Epic Game Store, so I was
Yeah.
really annoyed to see this, and it's been happening a ton recently.
Well, I'm
Uh,
probably the only one that's going to want to play it on PC, right?
Depends how sweet my PC is, Dan.
Right, that's true.
I honestly, if I can't imagine Corey's not gonna get this game digitally, so you'll have it on Xbox, and I know you don't like playing
Yeah, I
the
don't.
controller, but I will all have it.
If
Is
they
my
if
guess.
they add keyboard and mouse control to more games than just a handful, like they said they were going to, I'd be fine, even if it does only play at 30 frames. Like I just need a keyboard and mouse to control shooters.
I actually saw something interesting about this potential Borderlands, that it might have cross-platform play,
Yeah,
so we could all be playing this on different things
that would be
together.
awesome. Yeah, I
So,
think I heard. I think I saw that somewhere too.
yep, it was on Destructoid. But yeah, they said there's like a billion guns or something crazy in this. It looks just as crazy as every other Borderlands game. I'm excited for it. I think
Yeah.
it's gonna be a pretty sweet game.
Yeah, I love Borderlands too. I liked all of them. I liked the first Borderlands. I loved the second one.
Mhm.
Pre-sequel was good.
Oh, for anybody interested, I think the remastered versions of Borderlands 1, 2, and the pre-sequel are all out right now too.
Yeah, I know
Um,
they did the Borderlands Game of the Year edition.
Yeah.
So, and that's a free update, I know, for if you own it on PC, which I do. That they added some quality of life improvements. So,
Yeah. Yes.
mini map being one of them.
Yeah. So like all those games are now have had work done on them, and they're out there to play. If you haven't played them, go play them. They're great games. All three of them. Actually, I never played the pre sequel. I know you did.
Yeah, yep. Me and Corey
Um,
played quite a bit of the pre sequel
I
together.
don't know. I don't know how that stacks up to the other two. Probably fine.
Yeah, it's fine. A lot of people were annoyed because you're on a moon for it, so the gravity is less than.
So you're flying around a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It's how I said you should have had to play Destiny when you were on the moon or even Mars.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, so those are all my nibble bits this week. Check all that stuff out. Yeah.
I've got a few here. This was an exciting one until I realized that I couldn't use this. So if you're an Amazon Prime member and you do the Twitch Prime connection, you can get a free 12-month Nintendo Switch Online subscription. And from what I gather, it will, if you already have one, it will add on to what you already have. The problem with this is it only works for solo subscriptions. It doesn't work for family subscriptions. So,
Okay.
that's a bit frustrating. But,
Very much so.
yeah.
I wonder why. What makes it harder to not work, you know?
Yeah, maybe even if they did like 6 months free for family Nintendo Switch Online, that would be cool. But anyway.
But no, they don't want to do that.
No. Halo the Master Chief Collection may begin its release on PC this month. Not sure which game specifically, but I would love to see that. Is it Reach?
Yeah, they're going in order of timeline.
Oh yeah, the Master Chief Collection and Halo Reach sometime in April. Yep. Cool. Apparently it was announced on April Fool's Day, but it's not a joke. So that's good.
I hate April Fool's Day, by the way.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it myself. Although happy birthday to Corey. His birthday was on Monday on April Fool's Day, so
happy birthday, Sparky.
Happy belated. This one I thought was awesome, and I would like to see more of this in games. So your Civilization 6 save games now will cross both PC and Nintendo Switch. So you can be playing a game on your PC, you save it to the 2K cloud or whatever, and you can pick up where you left off on your Nintendo Switch. So you're going on a trip, you can play it that way. If you have a long train ride, you can continue your Civ 6 game on the Nintendo Switch.
That's pretty sweet.
Which I thought was awesome. So,
I love that they're doing that. I think that's a brilliant idea.
I do too. It's making me that much more tempted to buy it for my Switch.
I actually thought about it the other day.
I've got it on my wish list. If it comes down in price a little bit more, I may bite.
Take the plunge.
Yeah. Then my last one, which I hinted at earlier, Super Mario Lost Levels and Punch Out are coming to the Switch this month on Nintendo Switch Online. So it'd be nice to revisit Punch Out a little bit. And Mario Lost Levels is something I've only briefly played, so would like to try that.
I wonder why they're only doing NES games.
I don't know.
I feel like the NES is the least popular of the old Nintendo consoles.
Yeah, and those games definitely don't hold up as well as even Super Nintendo games do.
Yeah, so I'm surprised that they're not doing any SNES or Nintendo 64, but maybe that's for E3. Who knows?
Maybe. Although everyone's dropping out of E3 now.
Not Bethesda.
Not Bethesda. Devolver said they're going to have their crazy press conference.
Which, by the way, Bethesda said they're not showing any Elder Scrolls or Starfield stuff, so what are they showing?
I have no idea.
Rage 2 for the third year in a row?
Well, it won't be Rage 2 because that comes out in the beginning of May, I think, right?
Rage 2 DLC?
Probably DLC, yeah.
I dare them to talk about Fallout 76.
Oh, that would be great. That would be a great trolling opportunity.
Ah.
But no, Nintendo's going to be there. They're going to have their Nintendo Direct, and then the Treehouse stuff, which I love, is my favorite part of E3. Microsoft is going to be there. Just Sony dropped out, and then EA dropped out. Like anyone cares that EA dropped out. They've
I think
consistently had the worst press conferences for the past however many years.
every year ever. I know CD Projekt Red, so this is a big E3 for them. So I'm gonna guess we're gonna see a lot of Cyberpunk. And I think we see some stuff. I think Microsoft's gonna go big if Sony's not there.
Yeah, oh yeah. All the attention's going to be on them.
They're gonna do something stupid by announcing something a little too early.
Or maybe them and Nintendo will announce something together.
Could you imagine?
They're BFFs now, apparently.
I would be all for that. Like, I know Microsoft's been working on that like cloud thing.
Yeah.
That they can put their games on. So I wonder if they get that and then say, "Hey, it's coming to Switch. You can play Crackdown 3."
I wouldn't be interested in that, but a lot of the other stuff that they have, I would love to play on the Switch.
I just wanted to pick a game that was just mediocre.
Yeah, mediocre is a good way of putting it. It wasn't bad; it was mediocre.
Yeah, I didn't want to bury it, but I didn't want to give it credit either.
Okay, how was your week, Will?
Pretty good. I've been playing a lot of video games recently. I've been trying to finish Assassin's Creed Origins, which I'll talk about a little bit in what we played, but I'm currently in a conundrum with what I want to do with my money. So I've been talking to Dan the last couple of days. I'm going to upgrade my PC at some point. Probably over the summer is when it'll happen. But maybe earlier because I've had this hankering to get a PlayStation 4 again. And the reason being is I want to play games like Persona 5, which that might be coming to Switch now, so that's not as high on the list. But I never played through all of Horizon. I never played through all of God of War. I put maybe 3 hours in God of War, which isn't enough. I never played... what other games did I miss? Oh, I wanted to get Ghost of Tsushima on it. Tsushima. That's what I want to get and play. And there's a couple other games that I'm just forgetting. Oh, Days Gone is another one. Spider-Man is another one, too. All those games I want to play really bad. But I'm sitting there wondering, I'm like, wow, we're so close probably to the next consoles. We're like probably a year and a half away. Is it worth me spending $300-$400 to get a new PlayStation when I'm probably just going to be getting the new PlayStation next gen anyway? So I'm kind of going back and forth. Right now I'm leaning towards doing it. But I want to get a 4 Pro, which I don't have a 4K TV, so then that's more money that I got to spend. So I don't really know what I'm going to do. If anybody has any thoughts.
Well, we got feedback about upgrading a PC, actually.
Oh, really?
Yep, Tito.
Ooh.
So I don't know if you want to wait until then to talk about it, but...
Yeah, let's wait till feedback.
Okay.
To talk about it.
Well, talk about your PC. If you want to talk out the PS4 Pro and 4K TV.
Yeah. So I'll wait to talk about my PC stuff. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking about. I want to do it because I have things like Rock Band on my Xbox, which I could all trade that in because I haven't played that in like a year. 2 years at this point, so I could like trade that in. I got a PlayStation 3 that I could trade in for like probably some pennies. I don't know. I've got some things that I can trade in. I just don't know if I want to do it. My friend has my account now, so I'd have to start a new account because I sold my PlayStation to him and I let him use my account for all the games that me and Eric game share on.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so I have to like make a new username, which I'm fine with, whatever. That's fine. But that's kind of what my conundrum right now. I think you... Do you have an opinion, Dan? I can't remember if you cared either way.
No, I don't necessarily. I mean, I would upgrade my computer before I got a PlayStation. Because there's only a couple... Like, I do want to play God of War. I want to play Ghost of Tsushima. But for me, that would be enough to get a PlayStation. Bloodborne is on PS Now. I don't know what else is going to come on to PS Now.
Yeah.
I'd rather subscribe to that for a month or two to play Bloodborne or whatever.
Well, so actually, this is another interesting thing that I saw online. Who knows if it's true, but Sony might be developing games for multiple generations. So I'm wondering with Sucker Punch's Ghost of Tsushima, Last of Us 2, if those games, because really we've seen nothing from them other than their initial E3
Yeah, it's
presentations.
true.
We haven't seen anything from them. So I'm wondering if they're gonna come out late PS4 and then double launch on the PlayStation 5.
Yeah, like Breath of the Wild did for Wii U and Switch.
Exactly. So I'm kind of thinking, well, if those are the main games that I want to play on it, because Persona 5 is gonna come to the Switch, so I'll probably get it on Switch. I could probably procure a PlayStation long enough to play more Horizon and God of War for cheap. I could even get a Slim for like $200 refurbished and whatnot and just sell it away
Yeah,
if I really wanted. So I'm like, maybe that's what I do and don't go the get a new PlayStation. I let Corey borrow my Xbox, so I can just borrow someone's PlayStation for a bit. So
oh
I don't
wait,
know. But
Corey got rid of his Xbox and he has yours.
that was I don't know if you know, but I I let Corey borrow my Xbox.
Oh, okay,
For those that
gotcha,
aren't in the stream, that it's an inside joke between and the podcast. But
gotcha.
yeah, so I could do that. I don't know. There's a lot of things that I'm debating, and I'll talk about my idea for my PC when we get into the feedback part.
Uh huh.
Because that's another thing I want to talk about because I have kind of big plans for a PC too. Because this one's old and running slow and dumpy. But
Yeah,
other than that, no, my week's been good. Just been working, doing school, playing video games.
nice.
So
Yeah, I don't think I have anything too awful much to share. We're still slowly working through Game of Thrones. We have a couple more episodes left, week and a half until the season premiere of season 8.
woo.
It's bittersweet because I know it's just going to be ugly the last season. So I don't know. I don't know how to feel. I don't want it to be over because then what? I think I said this last week, but what? How do you even carry on after something like that?
Well, you have to find a new show that's gonna take you.
It's not going to happen.
But it's hard, yeah, because it's hard to find a show that you can get that invested into.
Absolutely, especially this. I've watched it probably 6 or 7 times through.
It's like your office.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, The Office is kind of my office too. We still
That's
probably
that's true.
probably 3 or 4 nights a week we watch Office episodes. Sometimes we watch Futurama. Sometimes
Yeah.
we watch Zach Scott games. It all depends on what we're feeling like watching before bed.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I don't really have anything other than that to share. So let's get into what we played. Will, what have you been playing?
Oh man, a lot of Assassin's Creed Origins. I'm loving Assassin's Creed Origins, Dan.
Nice.
It's a phenomenal game. It's So okay, when this game came out and you told me that the next two games were going to take place in Greece and Rome, I would not be surprised in the slightest because the parallels between I didn't realize how much the Greeks and the Egyptians were around like the same time and closely associated with each other.
Yeah,
I did not.
they're only across the Mediterranean from each other.
So like I'm playing Origins and like half the world is Greek.
Yeah,
Like they have like their little spheres of
spheres of influence.
yeah in the world, and I'm like, huh. I guess that makes 5,000% sense why the next game took place in Greece. So now that leak about Assassin's Creed Legion taking place in Rome might be true, and it might not be the Vikings one because the games are so close, or the empires are so closely associated with one another that I think that the next one is going to be Rome. Yeah, but other than that, like I'm loving Origins. I think I don't like it as much as Odyssey in the way that I think Odyssey is a bigger world. It's a little bit more um, fleshed out. I think the side quests are better in Odyssey. I just think Origins is like I think it's the second best Assassin's Creed games.
Okay.
Um, I'm loving it. I'm almost done. I'm like maybe 4 or 5 missions away from doing it. After the podcast, I'm gonna sit down and beat it. So,
Nice. Okay.
but
Anything else?
no, that's it.
Okay. So I've been playing quite a bit of Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice. For those that have played it, um, I just beat Genichiro. Genichiro Ashina at the top of Ashina Castle. That was a fight, let me tell you. That was one I kept having to revisit because I would try and try and try and try and not get anywhere, not get anywhere, not get anywhere, and I'd get sick of dying and losing. So I would go out and into other parts of the game and advance. And it finally got to the point where I could not advance in the other parts of the game anymore. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna learn this guy's moves. I'm gonna beat him. So I got to the point where, because it's a three phase boss fight. Got to the point where through the first 2 phases I would not get hit. I learned his moves so well I could block and dodge everything and not get hit the first 2 phases, and then the third phase I would just crumple. You know,
Yeah,
he would just I don't know. I would just
crush you.
crumble. I would start to get nervous. I would make one bad mistake and I would pay for that mistake. And then, once you make that mistake and then you try to heal, but he's fast and it's hard to heal this particular boss battle. So, you would just end up dying. It was terrible. But I finally beat him, so that was a great weight off of my shoulders, and I'm slowly but surely working through the rest of the game. I'm at the Guardian Ape now, which I think is going to be a tough fight, but I've gotten through his first phase so far, so hopefully I can continue. And then for my Switch game, I decided to pick up Captain Toad Treasure Tracker again. I figured rather than buying another Switch game to play right now, I would play through the ones that I already have that I haven't beaten. There's a couple of them, that being one of them. So I've played that quite a bit at this point. But yeah, it's a good game. It's a $40 game. A lot of good puzzles in there. It's fairly simple, but there's some challenging parts to it if you want to end up doing everything in the game. But it's a nice antidote to the stress and nerves of Sekiro, because you just walk around and essentially in the Mario world and collect things for puzzles and beat puzzles. So definitely some relaxing stuff after the stress of Sekiro.
Yeah, I actually haven't gone back to Sekiro since we did our episode on it.
Yeah.
I will. I just want once I get playing a game a bunch, like I just won't stop playing it.
Yeah.
But I want to get back to it. It's very hard though, and I'm intimidated going back in.
Yeah.
That I'm gonna forget everything.
Yeah, no, that's why I'm not gonna beat it all like at once. It's gonna take me a while, I think, because I also don't like to play it to the point where I start to hate it, where I just keep beating my head against the wall. So I'm fine with playing it for half an hour here, half an hour there, hour here, hour there. And if I don't advance, then I'll just play something else. Because I do want to beat it. We had the talk in our Thumbstick Athletes chat again about difficulty in video games, and there's actually been a lot of discussion about Sekiro specifically and difficult video games. People on both sides of the coin. But what I was saying is, the more I thought about it, the more I was like, it doesn't really need an easy mode, I don't think.
There was actually a Kotaku article that was titled "Easy Modes Have Never Ruined a Game."
Yeah.
And I was like, well, when the game's object is to being hard, yeah, that kind of completely changes the game.
Yeah, and From Software always wanted to make games that you had to overcome.
Not for the weak.
Yeah, and there was of course, discussion in the comments, but most of the people were like, it doesn't need an easy mode. It shouldn't. The developer should not be forced to put an easy mode in a game that's designed to be difficult.
Yeah, and I get why people would want an easy mode, and I understand that and think it's fine. I just personally think it doesn't.
Yeah. And Eric started playing. I'm not gonna get too much into his thoughts, but so far he really likes it. I think he started playing. Was it last night he started playing it, or the night
Two
before?
nights ago. 2 nights ago, maybe.
Yeah. So I'll have him talk about it when he's the next episode he's on for. But he really likes it so far. So I did want to give his brief thoughts on it too.
His dumb thoughts.
I think that's everything.
Yeah, honestly, we've been playing a lot of games, but it's been one or two games as opposed to a wide brush amount of stuff, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, because as I said, I'm trying to beat things. Like I said, I haven't picked up Captain Toad since like last late spring. I think was the last time I played it. It's just been sitting in my game case. I wanna beat some of these things. I've got to beat Bayonetta 2 again, so that'll probably be the next thing I play on the Switch. I have Child of Light on the Switch that I'll probably play.
oh, that game's so good.
Yeah, because I bought that as soon as it became available, and I haven't played it. But then a game like Darkest Dungeon, I don't know if I'll end up beating. That's one I've probably put. I think I've put like 30 hours in the Switch version. I don't know if I'll beat that because of its difficulty.
Darkest Dungeon's one of those games where if you put your time into, I consider you beat it. Like I'm doing the backlog challenge. If I had that on my backlog challenge, I wouldn't say I'm done with it when I beat it. It would be I've put 40 hours into this. I've done my time.
You've done your time, but you haven't beaten it.
Yeah, no, but that would take it off my
Oh,
backlog
gotcha. Yeah, okay.
list.
Yeah,
that's kind of
fair.
how I would do it.
That's fair. All right. Let me call it feedback here. Last I checked, we had 2 pieces.
Dos.
Oh, 3 pieces.
Woo!
All right. Let me take a drink before I do this. My mouth is getting a little bit dry.
Pound some water.
Yeah.
So Beardless is teaching me a little history in the
Okay.
chat.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Yeah, so I said in the origins that Greeks and Romans are in it, and he said Romans, not Greeks. The Greeks had long since been absorbed by Rome at the time when Origins starts.
Oh, okay.
So it makes a lot more sense in the context of the story because it says like a Greek soldier for like the name,
Yeah.
but the Romans are running everything. So he said Odyssey's 400 years before Origins.
Okay.
So ancient Rome hadn't survived long after we switched to the AD calendar. So I said, does that mean that if the next game is in Rome, the time period will be close to Origins and not Odyssey? So that's kind of
Gotcha.
if the next game is in Rome, it would probably be
When does
closer.
what year approximately does Origins take place? Do you know? Do you remember?
I'd have to look because
look
I'm
it up,
not
'cause
really
I'd be
sure.
interested.
Wait, do you know what year Cleopatra lived?
Yeah.
Right around then.
Okay. She's in the game.
Yeah, she's who you're helping.
Okay, because that's 40. Oh, that's the good time, and that's when Julius Caesar was doing his stuff.
So I've just met Julius Caesar.
Oh
actually.
man, that would be a perfect time period to have a Roman thing too.
Honestly, like it's really cool helping Cleopatra, and like I'm learning that her brother plot me. Man, I'm gonna butcher these names.
I don't remember the names that well.
Yeah, he's kind of taken over, and he's like the false pharaoh, and she's like thinks she's the real queen pharaoh.
Okay.
It's amazing, and like when you're in Giza climbing the pyramids. Oh.
Nice. I love the historical aspect of these things.
So actually, when I get part of the reason why I want to get a sweet PC, I want to play Origins and Odyssey on it and get real into it with top-notch looking graphics.
Yeah. So he says the narrative in Origins has some of the dopest historical shit in the series. It's great. I love it.
Oh,
There's not enough games in that time period. Go ahead.
so I wanted to bring this up real quick. The Assassin's Creed 3 remake came out, or remaster.
Did it come
And
out?
It's out, yeah.
Okay.
I was getting so mad because I follow the Assassin's Creed subreddit, and they were patting each other on the back about how it's the best Assassin's Creed, how the new ones aren't Assassin's Creed, how they need to go back to the old style of linear storytelling and terrible mechanics. I was getting so frustrated reading everybody's hot takes. I was like, Origins and Odysseys are some of the best Assassin's Creed games. Yeah, they're not Assassin's Creed, but everybody was complaining about how stale the series was.
Really?
Yeah, people were. It was like this. The series was on life support, really.
Oh, yeah, it was terrible. I mean,
So
Unity was terrible. I think Syndicate was a little bit better.
yeah. Well, Syndicate actually, people like Unity and hate Syndicate,
Really?
which
I thought I never played Unity, so but I thought Syndicate was okay. It was
so I think it's
not as
like
good as the brief time I spent with Odyssey.
I think it's part of the launch issues ruined that game. I think it was a better game than when what it was going through when it first came out because we all jumped off board immediately after the launch issues.
Yeah.
Never played it. Liked Syndicate because it was at least a game that worked.
Yeah.
But like as Beardless says, Origins has some of the best storytelling in the series and the coolest historical stuff. Like Egypt is amazing to like be in. It's my like the game are phenomenal the last two. So
That's awesome.
yeah, I'm excited for the next Assassin's Creed.
There's a reason the boat mechanics are the most believed aspect of AC3. Yeah. I mean, and those continued into Black Flag. The part that Black Flag that made Black Flag amazing was the pirate stuff, the ship stuff.
Yeah.
That was amazing. But then when you got on land or went to jump onto someone else's boat to kill everyone on it, you're like fighting with the controls again.
And honestly, like the most two recent AC games, like I've not had an issue with the mechanics at all. Not like the fighting, the assassinations. Like people want the game or the series to go back to eavesdrop missions and like tailing missions and I'm like, you guys are crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't wait to have my time with Odyssey. That'll probably be over the summer for me.
We'll both be playing it over the summer again because that game's so good.
Yeah. Anyway, where were we? Oh, Tate's feedback. So he says, "Sup guys, I was one of the people last week that completely spaced that you were recording on Wednesday, so I did not get a chance to write in. But first of all, I wanted to give Corey an explanation for why NCAA Football 14 is my number one game. The college football games are way better than the Madden games, in my opinion. There's way more to them than any Madden game has ever offered. With the recruiting, the rivalries, the stadium atmospheres, and the traditions, the jerseys, everything's just more detailed and more in depth. Madden sucks now and has for quite a few years, in my opinion." They discontinued NCAA games after 2014. Since I haven't had any interest in Madden for quite a while, NCAA is my go-to if I want to play some football. I've gone back to it over and over again, and I have just as much fun every time as I did the first time I played it. I played through probably 20 full seasons or more on that game without simulating any games, and I always get a kick, no punt intended, pun, out of taking a crappy college team and making them national champions by recruiting great players and winning based on my skill playing the game rather than how good the team is already. So there's my long explanation of why it's my number one. It will forever be my go-to until they come out with another one. Also, I had a couple things I want to share with you that I thought were hilarious, as well as hit my nostalgia buttons a bit. This is the first picture which Mass Effect fans will enjoy, or the first is a picture which Mass Effect fans will enjoy. Some guy posted this and said, "These 2 points will come in handy. Gonna make him the greatest soldier in the Milky Way galaxy. Rip Jenkins." It's a picture of, I don't know if you remember from the first Mass Effect, the 2 squaddies that you have.
Mm-hmm.
Jenkins and Caden. Jenkins gets killed like immediately in the game.
Yep.
So the person put the 2 skill points into, I forget what it is. Hang on, into pistols. Yeah. So the person put the 2 skill points into pistols to try to save Jenkins, but. So he says the second one is his video. It got me in the feels for those old times Halo parties and playing online with friends, simpler times. And he posts a video, which I'll post on our Twitter. I didn't get a chance to watch it yet, but I'll put it up on Twitter. He says, "By the way, I forgot last week, so I would like the game SteamWorld Heist from a couple weeks ago. Thanks. Anyways, hope you all had a great week. Pot on, Taterade out." Thanks, Tate. Good explanation on NCAA.
Yeah,
I would definitely like that more than Madden, no question.
I can't believe they haven't since made another NCAA football game. I'm very surprised. I thought that they would have, rolled back on that by now, but Who knows?
Yeah, someday.
Hopefully it comes back because those were the best football games by far.
Yeah. NFL 2K5.
Oh yeah.
All right, so this is from Tito, who says, Tito from LA says, I didn't get a chance to read all of Kotaku's article on Anthem's quote unquote demise or troubled production, but it's gotten to the point now where I have to ask a question that no one else seems to be asking. Why is Frostbite being forced upon developers when, after years of being used on several titles, especially from BioWare, it's clear it hinders the developer's ability to make great games and work efficiently? You would think that if Frostbite is such a huge headache, then stop using it. But EA, I'm sure, is behind the decision in trying to save money because who cares about making a great game and giving the developers the best tools to work with? Decided to bite and ordered a bunch of upgrades for my computer. It's been showing its age. I can't play Assassin's Creed Origins, and the Vision 2 runs okay at the low settings. Technically, it's a new build, but I'm keeping my case and power supply. Quick overview of the specs. He's got an i7 9700K, MSI Z390A Pro Mobo motherboard, RTX 2080. Why, Tito? Just why? 1 terabyte M2 NVMe hard drive. He said, I wanted to pay as little as possible and was thinking of going Ryzen AMD build, but I trust Intel and NVIDIA too much. I regret it, though, since this might be unnecessary depending on how Google Stadia pans out. I just hate paying for a computer that becomes outdated just 4 months later. I also had to upgrade my BenQ monitor since my 144Hz monitor doesn't have a display port and the RTX 2080 doesn't have any DVI ports. I kept it in the same family of monitors, though. Just bought a newer BenQ model that comes with a display port. That's all for now. So first, let's talk about Frostbite.
That's actually an interesting point he makes. Why? Why do they keep being forced to use it?
Yeah, I know that was a lot of the trouble behind Mass Effect Andromeda development was having to use Frostbite. Because I know Frostbite is a good first-person shooter.
Engine.
Thank you. That's what I was going for. Engine, but I feel like the RPG stuff in Anthem and Mass Effect Andromeda is what made development for those games hard.
That BioWare article about what happened with the Mass Effect Andromeda stuff, I guess they had it explained to him from somebody who worked on the game that said, say you have a sports car that's meant to go fast, and that's all it's really good at, and then you're trying to force it to do things that it's not good at, like
go off-road.
Be able to, I don't know, I'm bad with cars, maybe accelerate. I don't know. I'm really bad with cars. I'll butcher the analogy if I keep going with it. But that's the issue that they had. It's a really good sports car that'll go super, super fast, but it can't do much else. So that's the issue. And I'm thinking, why do you keep having to use it? And that's, must be it. EA is probably forcing it.
Yeah. Yeah, Beardless says a good amount of EA's higher-ups are former DICE employees.
That would make a lot of sense. Yeah,
Frostbite was the Battlefield engine, right? And that's what they use for the new Battlefront. But it doesn't work as well with, like I said, more RPG type games, right?
But you would think a company would be forward thinking enough to be like, well, okay, this works for our shooters, but maybe we should have something different for our deeper RPG games.
Yeah, let's use Unreal like everybody else, or what have you. I think even Unreal is either really cheap or free to use now to license.
Yeah. Well, then you might run into an issue where you have to have your game exclusive to the Epic Game Store.
Yeah, fair enough. Maybe. Beardless says I should say former DICE executives. Yeah, that stinks. Especially BioWare's making RPGs; they're not making shooters.
And who's losing out?
Yeah,
BioWare.
Yeah. Too bad.
BioWare and the fans are the ones that are losing it.
Yeah,
I don't know how much longer BioWare has.
Probably not much. I mean, Star Wars: The Old Republic was kind of a flop.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see what happens with Respawn's Star Wars game. It's Respawn, right?
Yeah, if that comes out and is huge and really popular, BioWare can't make another Star Wars game.
No, unless it's Knights of the Old Republic and not a Frostbite Knights of the Old Republic.
And that's what I'm thinking. What they're gonna bring out Knights of the Old Republic. Is it going to be good with that engine? Probably not, unless they get really good at developing for it.
Yeah, I don't know. I actually heard a rumor that Disney was trying to start their own game studio again.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because of how badly mishandled Star Wars has been by EA.
Oh, it's been bad.
Yeah,
How many games have they canceled that were Star Wars games? At
quite a
least
few.
three.
Three, I think, at least three. And the two that came out, the Battlefronts, weren't great.
No, not at all. They're in a bad way, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, they just print money with FIFA.
That's true. They do have the sports games.
Yeah. Okay. Beerless says, like the part of Jason's article where Peter Soderlund is obsessing over Anthem's look, says a lot.
Yeah, I mean the Frostbite engine looks good, but you can also get engines that work better for RPGs that look great too. You know, I just don't understand why. I know it probably saves them a lot of money, but in the long run, if BioWare is putting out good games that play well, more people are gonna buy them. But because of their last couple, who's gonna trust a BioWare game? You know?
Yeah. And gameplay wise, I thought Anthem was good. That wasn't the problem with that. It was the in between stuff and the menus and stuff that were just
Bad.
terrible.
Yeah.
You spend half an hour on a mission and then 20 minutes putzing around in the menus and all that stuff. That's what sunk it for me. Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, PC upgrades. So there you go. Well, so he's got an i7 9700K. That's the overclockable i7. MSI Z390, A Pro motherboard, RTX 2080, 1 terabyte and M2 NVMe hard drive. Big fan of the NVMe hard drives, the M2s, because they plug right into the motherboard. You don't need to run cables, especially when I'm building computers. When I have to put a stupid old hard drive with a stupid old cable, both power cable and the SATA cables, it's just blocks so much like cooling flow in your case that the NVMe just plugs right into the motherboard. It barely uses any power. They're super fast. That's really the way to go nowadays. So if you can do that, by all means. RTX 2080, that's a great card. That'll last you a while. i7 9700K. I'm still running the i7 2600 from 9 years ago, so that should last you a while. Yeah, that's some good stuff. It's nice that you don't have to upgrade your case and power supply. That saves you $150-$200 probably.
Unnecessary expenses,
Yeah.
Yeah, Tito, I'm actually with you. My PC can't run Far Cry 4 on high settings. I have to bump it down to medium. And that game came out like 5 years ago, so it's kind of frustrating. So I've been talking to Dan, and we've been plotting out my new build the last couple days, so I'm pretty excited for that.
Your computer should be able to run that. We probably just need to tinker with it, because I played Far Cry 5 on my computer. Fine. It mostly ran at 60 frames. Mid settings.
Yeah, but I'm going to be a snob. I want to run things how I want to run them.
Oh, I don't blame you. It's much easier because I built a computer that had two RTX 2060s.
Yeah.
Or no, I had one RTX 2060. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But I built a high-end gaming computer that we made for one of our clients, and it was nice to be able to just hit maximum everything and just play it that way, because I have to tinker a little bit with my settings and stuff. So
yeah, well, okay, so
to get it to run on medium at good frame rates.
Well, what made me want to upgrade is I was looking forward to playing Final Fantasy 15 on PC for like 2 years, and then when it wouldn't run very well on my computer, kind of solidified this. But like I can't even edit stuff on my computer because I have no hard drive space because of God knows why. I can't have programs to do any editing on here because I have no space. Everything runs slow. My keyboard sometimes doesn't respond with my computer, so I need a new keyboard anyway. But I also have no ports in my computer to plug anything else in anymore. I'm still having that old school blue cable. You have to screw it in and out of the monitor, and
VGA.
the VGA cable for my one monitor. I don't want that anymore. That's frustrating. That hardly even works. Um, yeah, all of these reasons. So I want to upgrade and go big. So that's what I'm planning.
Uh-huh. Yeah, and we can certainly do that.
No more of this old piece of garbage.
Yeah. What's up, Tito? We're just talking about your feedback actually and your computer upgrades because Will is also going to upgrade his computer.
Yep.
Um, my friend Tim, who you know well, Will, he's got two RTX 2080 Ti's. I don't know if I talked about this on air or not, but he was texting with me the other day because he was playing his games on a 4K TV. He's like, so even though I get, or it's saying I'm getting 90 to 100 frames per second, I'm not actually seeing that, right? I'm like, no, your 4K TV is only 60 hertz. That's all you're gonna see. And he was devastated. So I had been pushing the ultra wide high G-Sync monitor on him for a while, but finally I think he saw the light, and he ordered himself a 34-inch ultra wide 1440p G-Sync monitor to go with his monster machine. He's got a sweet machine. I still have to go over there and see it in person, but yeah, he said it's something else. I think he played Far Cry because some of the games he was playing were having trouble running with the two cards, but he said Far Cry New Dawn was unbelievable with the two graphics cards going, high frame rates, ultra wide 1440p. He said it was unbelievable. So
Now, if I want a game to look the best, do I want to go G-Sync or 4K TV for my playing screen?
well, you said you don't care to go above 60 frames, right? If you don't care
Yeah.
about going over 60 frames, then I would go the
4K.
4K TV.
Woo-hoo-hoo. That's exciting.
Yeah. Yeah. So he says looking for a monitor with that was high refresh rate 1440p, but I don't need FreeSync or G-Sync. Oh yeah, I don't know. I'm sure they're out there. He got the Alienware ultra wide 1440 G-Sync monitor. I think it was like $800 or something like that. But yeah, I look forward to seeing that in person. Although then, because I loved gaming on my ultra wide, but it got to the point where any newer games, it's that many more pixels that the computer has to render, so it slows it down. So I actually switched back over to 1080p, and my ultra wide monitor is my productivity monitor. Now I have the streaming video and the Firefox and all that stuff over there. So fun times.
Man, I hate looking at stuff on Amazon like 4K TVs, like monitors. Just like I want to buy everything.
Oh, I've got a huge Amazon wish list. Huge.
Now 4K TVs come no smaller than 41, right? Isn't that or 43?
Yeah, I think that's the smallest I would go. Outside of that, you're not going to see the pixel density that you're supposed to. Although you're pretty close to it if you have it as your like monitor for your computer. But yeah,
so
40-ish, I would go.
I see a Insignia. Do you know anything about that brand?
Yeah, it's Best Buy. I think it's their brand.
So the Insignia 43-inch 4K Ultra HD Smart LED TV HDR Fire TV Edition, $229.
It's not bad. Not bad
That's
at all.
pretty cheap. It's very cheap.
Yeah. You're not going to be able to get a monitor for that.
Oh, God. I hope this is still available tomorrow because that's when I get paid.
Again, make sure refresh rate is a problem on TVs. That's not a problem on monitors, or not refresh rate. I'm sorry, response rate. Response time.
What do I check for that to know?
I think you have to look up people's stuff. I don't think they put response times on TV spec ratings.
Refresh rate?
No, not refresh rate. It'll be milliseconds response time, but it'll be like most monitors are like between 1 and 5 milliseconds. I think it's response time.
So basically, I gotta read the reviews.
Yeah, Tito says for gaming I wouldn't do TVs because of that issue. Now I know my friend Tim never had that issue with his first person shooters. It depends too if you're playing online. Like if you're just playing single player shooters and RPGs and stuff, you don't have to worry about it as much.
Yeah, I'm gonna read while we continue and see if anybody says anything.
Yeah, and then a lot of times too, it's different based on which HDMI port you're using on the TV. So I've read people switching the HDMI ports lowers the response time for input lag.
Yeah.
So who knows? But yeah. Okay, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. So Val's coming on right now to talk about her rookie camp stuff, and then we'll get to our last piece of feedback. He says some people don't notice that kind of stuff. Some people can't tell the difference between 60 frames versus high. Yeah, that's crazy to me, actually.
I've hardly noticed more than 60. Hi, Val.
Oh, I have to wear an earbud.
You don't have to.
Well,
I don't have the other headphones plugged in. Even if you just want to like hold it over your ear, just so you can hear well. Tito says, Val.
hey. Sorry, I'm a hot mess. I just finished working out.
Hi, Val. What's up?
Hey, how's it going?
30 frames
Not
versus
much.
60 frames is super noticeable to me too. I kind of wish I'd gotten Sekiro on PC just for that very reason, so I could play it at 60, even if the graphics don't necessarily look as good. But go ahead. So yeah, you're gonna be reporting on February and March rookie camps. We had a little sabbatical in there with all of our illness in our house that we couldn't do it, but back on track.
It made it quite tricky, actually. Okay, so in February and March, I played Death Road to Canada, Wargroove, Middle Earth: Shadow of Mordor, Skyrim, and Super Mario Sunshine. So the categories are most likely to play again, least likely to play again, and best overall experience. You're cheating.
I'm not cheating. I'm not. I'm seeing your game list. I'm not looking at your other notes.
You better not.
Right, yeah, run the games by me again.
Okay, so I've got Death Road to Canada,
Mm-hmm.
Wargroove, Middle Earth: Shadow of Mordor, Skyrim, and Super Mario Sunshine.
So most likely to play again?
Most likely to play again.
Let's go. Because you're a Mario fan, Mario Sunshine
Okay.
would be my guess.
Good guess. What's your guess, Dan?
I don't know. I'm gonna say Death Road to Canada.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Least likely to play again.
Middle Earth.
Wargroove.
Will's got Wargroove. You've got Middle
Shadow
Earth.
Mordor, yeah.
Okay. And best overall experience.
Skyrim.
Probably Skyrim, yeah.
Skyrim. Okay. Good. So, my most likely to play again is actually Death Road to Canada.
Dang it.
So it's actually been kind of interesting to be like away from the games for as long as I have been, because it gave me better perspective. I feel like what was memorable, what wasn't. And when I think back over the last 2.5 months of rookie camp, Death Road to Canada stuck out to me. And it surprised me because I don't think I would have said that was my most likely to play again had we like done it in February like we were supposed to. But I think having some distance from it, I realized how like Oregon Trail-ish it kind of is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that aspect is kind of appealing to me. So
Yeah, I also feel like you didn't like the games this round as much as you have in previous
we're
months.
getting there.
Okay.
We're getting there. Yeah.
Dan's pick bad ones.
Yeah. So that's my most likely to play again. Least likely to play again is Middle Earth: Shadow of Mordor.
And I did not see your games on your list.
I know you didn't.
But
you just know me.
Well, I'm with you when you do these. So
Yeah, you are. I absolutely loved the game because it was Lord of the Rings and like that's awesome, but I was terrible at it.
there's a lot going on.
There's so much going on and I can compartmentalize my brain to do certain things, but in a game with like the enemies and the this and the that and they're coming back for you, like all of that, I just couldn't I couldn't keep track of all of it.
Yeah, now that I think about it, I should have said Mordor. That would make sense why that would be the game. Because Wargroove, at its base level, is at least playable and you can get
Yeah.
enjoyment out of it. If you don't like that style of game, Val,
Yeah.
it's a bad time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
It was really intense. Like I agree. War Groove, like I could probably pick that up and remember enough to like play it again and figure it out.
yeah,
But Middle Earth not happening. Not happening. Cool, awesome game, but not happening.
yeah.
That's one to watch on YouTube.
Yeah. Well, because I walked right into like three, whatever they're called.
Yeah, there was three captains were just
captains.
wandering by at the same time.
And I just like ran right into them, like, oh, hey guys, like newbie over here. And Dan had to take over because it was really bad. Yeah. And then, so my best overall experience, I can't pick one.
Okay.
I think that I was going to go with Super Mario Sunshine because it's like the world I'm used to. And I loved the music and I loved the idea of the game, but the controls, like I was terrible. And I don't know if it was just because it's like an older game and the controller was whatever. So I was going to go with Super Mario Sunshine, but then I remember how angry I was. If you watch the video, I'm like, I don't know how to do this. Like, you got to do it for me.
So I actually did watch some of it, and Dan talked about the inverted controllers being a huge pain.
Oh my god, I cannot. Like, I can't. I have to say, like, Rookie Camp is awesome. I love it because it exposes me to so many games, and especially, like, it's awesome because I get to experience, like, all these games that Dan loves, and, like, I feel like Max will love or loves already.
Yeah.
So that's great, but it's kind of making me feel a little dumb because, like, I can't. Some of these games, I just can't. I don't have, like, the capacity for them, and it's frustrating.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm stuck.
We also were talking about this, that like the camera and controls have come a long way too in games. So playing those older platformers can be a bad time.
Yeah.
For everything that they do right, still the controls have gotten so much better that it's hard to go back and play those.
Definitely.
And you've played a lot of Mario, like you play Odyssey, like you've played all of the Mario games, like you've played Zelda games, you've experienced the advancement in the controls, so like to go back is hard.
Right, and especially because I didn't experience, obviously, like I didn't play Super Mario Sunshine, I didn't play Super Mario 64, so I didn't have experience with those older, the older controls. I think the farthest back I go as far as like a 3D game, like a Mario, is Super Mario Galaxy. And we couldn't figure out if it was the first one or the...
It would have been the first one.
The first one?
Yeah.
I was really good at that one. I almost beat it. But then I think like I started a college class or something and it went kerflooey. Or I think it was that might have been around our wedding. Now that would it have been?
I don't remember.
But I feel like something all of a sudden consumed my time and I was like this close to beating it and then I never did. So yeah. So and then thinking about best overall experience too, like Skyrim is on there. Like one that is a contender I think too. Because of like how much you've talked about Skyrim and like there, just the openings, it was all really well done. So, but when I think about it, that game kind of stands out to me as one as like that I don't remember as well as the other ones, even though I played it more recently. So it's been interesting to like have such a time span.
Yeah, I mean that one specifically, like you didn't really do anything. You just wandered around.
Yeah.
It's not your fault, but that's part of the game. Yeah, it's like the first hour.
Oh, that's okay. Now it's coming back to me.
Yeah,
because I was like, "What do I do?"
Because we only play roughly an hour. That's not time to do anything in Skyrim. So
yeah, that's right. Okay, yeah. So I think when I think of a game of Skyrim and knowing myself as a person, I need like a goal.
Yeah.
I've recently discovered this about myself. I was just telling you this. Like, I need a goal. I need, like, an end. Like, this is what you do at the end. So if I had a mission or something where I was working towards something, that would have been good for me. But just, like, running around, I don't know what to do with myself unless I have some direct like some direction. So
Yeah.
yeah, and so I would argue like that these 5 games were a rough batch for me, but I am very glad for the experience. And I would have to say, like, just thinking about it, of those 5 games, Death Road to Canada is the one. So maybe that's my best overall experience because that's the one I remember the most and that I enjoyed. And we did multiplayer too, so that was fun.
We did co-op once we finally got it figured out.
Multiplayer co-op.
Took a little while.
Yeah. And don't watch the Skyrim video. Because I said, why is there a bear in a cave? You remember
that? I didn't get that far into that one.
No, so to be fair to myself, I want to clarify. Oh, let me fix my ear again. So I was in like an underground thing, like completely underground. And to me, I think of like a bear living in a cave in like the side of a mountain or the side of a hill.
Yeah,
not underground. So I was like, why is there a bear in a cave? And as soon as I said it, I was like, what just happened to my life? But it was because I wasn't expecting it to be all the way under the ground.
Yeah,
Like near dungeons and stuff. Like, come on.
The cool part about Skyrim is you don't know what to expect going.
Yeah.
Anywhere.
Anywhere really.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, but I think that pretty much covers it. I feel like I talked a lot.
No. Thanks for filling us in.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll have to do a better job picking games in April.
Yeah. Well, like, I have to say, like, going into, like, this past Sunday, I was like, all right, he's gonna give me a good one. He's gonna give me the one that can be my, like, most likely to play again and my best overall experience. And I was like, Super Mario Sunshine, this is it. And then I started playing, and I was like, I hate this game. This game's the worst. But it was good. Learning experience.
The more you you get used to the bad controls to a point where you're like, okay, I can deal with these now.
Yeah, but you know, yeah, and it's funny too. It just makes me think, like, when I hear you guys on the podcast, you know, saying like, oh, the controls weren't great. Now I have a better appreciation for that because I would have been good at that game if the controls had worked better with my brain, or my brain had worked better with the controls, however you want to say it. So yeah, so it gives me good perspective on that. So
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
thanks for letting me pop in.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see what Dan picks for you this coming month.
Yeah, he's got to pick a lot of happy games because it's hockey playoffs and
something to change the.
I don't know how well it's gonna go for us. And then Game of Thrones is on. It's gonna be Dan and I are gonna be a hot mess for a couple months here.
It's gonna be a tough April.
It's gonna be a real tough April. Yeah.
No, Val, we want to have you and Corey for this upcoming week's pond hockey. So
yeah, Dan told me. I'm pumped. I'm ready.
So have your playoff predictions ready.
Oh, I'm ready. You know, I actually made predictions at the start of the season, before the season started. So I'm gonna find those too, because I looked at them a few weeks ago, and I was actually pretty close on most of the teams. There were a couple that, like Buffalo, whoops.
Yeah.
I thought Buffalo was going to make it, too. So,
but I have a very bold prediction for the Cup winner. So,
I think I spoiled it.
Did you spoil it?
I think so.
Dan, come on.
Does it start with the team, or is it the team in Raleigh?
Yeah, perhaps.
Okay.
It's a bunch of jerks.
The jerks of the NHL.
The jerks of the NHL, yes. Bold prediction.
But, yeah.
Why not?
I'm excited. I'm excited. I hope Corey doesn't bail out.
Yeah. No, it'll be fun. I'm ready. I'm gearing up.
Everybody's probably sick of just hearing me and Dan every week.
Oh, no, you guys do great.
Spice it up a little bit.
No, you guys do great.
Fresh blood.
I like your podcast because it I feel like I listen to a lot of hockey podcasts, and your podcast like touches on everything, but not so deep that it's like I know every inch of this team. Like
it's concise.
Yes, it's concise. Yeah. It's efficient. Yes.
Yep. I don't think we go over 40 minutes when we do it.
Yeah.
No, it's usually roughly about 40 minutes.
Yeah. So I'll be ready for that on Monday.
Yeah. Sounds good.
All right. So we'll see you.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Bye, Val. Thank you.
All right. Okay, so we just finished with Tito's feedback. So thank you, Tito.
You should pick Hollow Knight. That game's depressing.
I've got a list of games, so I'll have to tap into that. I'll try to pick ones that she'll enjoy. One of them was topical. Wargroove was because that's when it came out. So
It just come out, yeah.
yeah. So the next piece of feedback is from Idaho Jake, who says, "Hey guys, I'm pre-ordering Borderlands 3 as soon as they get home. I pre-ordered Rage 2. Tried the Microsoft Wireless app for me to play PC games on Xbox, and it doesn't mirror my PC screen on my Xbox. So I'm not sure what's going on. Not much gaming going on, but I did take my kids to their first live hockey game, and they loved it. We saw the Idaho Steelheads versus Rapid City Rush. Well, that's it for me. So have a great night." Yeah, I'm gonna pre-order. I'm gonna get Rage 2 for Steam since Bethesda did say it's coming out on Steam. So I'll probably pre-order that. I think that comes out in May, right?
Yeah, it comes out in May, I think.
Okay, so yeah, I'm glad because that was one I didn't want to miss. It was one I'm looking forward to. Microsoft Wireless app. I've heard that doesn't work very well, also, and a lot of people are having trouble with it. So they're gonna have to figure something out. Get it working. I've heard it when it works really well, but that's few and far between. So, and then hockey live is great.
Best sport live for sure.
Yeah, I'm in agreement there. Most of the arenas I've been to, NHL, AHL, what have you, there's not really a bad seat in the house. I prefer to sit on an end, kind of high up. For the reason that sometimes when you sit mid-ice, you have to kind of lean to look, especially if you're close. You have to kind of lean around the people next to you to see around them.
Which is annoying.
Yeah, which is annoying. And I usually try to do the analytical view of hockey. Like I like to see positioning and stuff, and it's easier when you're sitting on an end and kind of high up. So, but at the same time, I will say, if you're, don't go that often, you do need to sit close to see how big and fast the players are and how fast the game is.
Yeah.
Because you really get a sense for that when you sit up close. So, but that's cool.
Definitely, yeah.
All right. Game giveaway time.
Oh man, I'm yawning.
Yeah, it's almost 11. I can't believe how late it is.
And I've been going to bed super late, so I've not been sleeping in. I don't want to get into the habit where I'm up until 4 and then sleeping until like 2.
My natural state, I haven't been able to do this in years, but if I fall back into my natural state, it's going to bed at like 2 or 3 and waking up at like 10.
Yep.
That's how I roll.
That's how you're meant to be.
Yeah.
The winner is number 2.
2 is Tito.
Wow.
Tito. Winner chicken dinner.
Congrats, Tito. Get your pick of the litter here coming up. 1 through, it's 150, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna cut down the list pretty soon here. Cut out all the empty numbers.
It's been a while since I've been here for a giveaway, I feel like. Okay. First is 108.
108. 108 is Rhymeberta.
Okay. Next, 98.
98. 98 is gone. Reroll.
Reroll. Boom. 28.
28. 28 is Mirror's Edge. That's a good game.
97.
97. I know that's on there. 97 is The Walking Dead Season 2.
Wow. 79.
79. The Beginner's Guide. I think Corey likes that one.
I think he does too. 149.
149 is gone.
81.
81. Galaxy. Whoops. So your choices are, obviously, Galaxy. Let me scroll down to the 81. Galaxy, The Beginner's Guide, Walking Dead Season 2, Mirror's Edge, and Rhyme Berta. So let us know what you want. I do know I am behind on games, but I have everyone's picks that they want, and I will send them out. Tate, I think I owe 3 games to Tate. It looks like Jake has a pick, and Tito has one from a while ago, so I will hopefully email those out. Oh, Tito's taken Rhyme Berta. So that's one Corey likes, I think. So I will cross out the ones that we're not going to use and send out Rhyme Berta. All right. Any other thoughts, Will?
I got nothing, Dan.
Nothing? Okay. So next week's episode, we are going to be covering Game of Thrones games and mods for other games for Game of Thrones. So I'll be talking a little bit about the Telltale Game of Thrones game, which I'm not even sure if you could still buy. But I'll talk about that. There's a Game of Thrones RPG that I actually put on my computer upstairs that I'm going to try to talk about next week. And then the Game of Thrones mods for Crusader Kings 2. What is it? Mount Blade Warband. There's Crusader Kings mods for Civ 5, which I would also like to try. Age of Empires 2 also has a Game of Thrones scenario. So I'm going to try to get some time in with that stuff, and that's going to be our episode for next week since it's a week and a half from Game of Thrones time. So that'll be something topical to talk about. Maybe I'll see if Corey wants to join in. I don't know if he ended up playing the Telltale Game of Thrones game or not. But yeah. He may be interested in trying some of these or hearing about them. So
yeah, absolutely.
That's our topic for next week. Anything else, Will? That's it, right?
That's all I got, yeah.
Okay. Well, that'll do it for episode 402 of the Thumbstick Athletes podcast. I'm your host, Dan.
I'm Will.
Thanks for listening, and get out of my basement.